Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I actually wanted to talk on a trend that I see on YouTube. And I've been seeing it actually quite frequently now. And I don't get it. You know, me being a sneakerhead, it's just something I never would do because shoes are expensive, especially the shoes that I like to buy. Yeah, shoes are expensive. So it trips me out when I see videos of people cutting their shoes open to see what's inside. Like, you can't go and ask a shoe developer or shoe creator, whoever it is they're putting these shoes together. You're acting like you can't just ask them what's inside of the shoe. And I'm saying, like, all right, so to just talk on the shoes I got right now, because I got me a pair of shoes in the beginning of the week, and they came in today. They're the Nike Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next, and it has like a percentage sign after the next. But anyways, yeah, so I bought these shoes. I can clearly see the deal with them. Like, I've never thought, let me cut up a pair of shoes that cost well over $200, cut them up in half, to see what's inside. And I'm like, bruh, like, there's a few people that I know from the Nike headquarters out in Oregon where I can very well contact them and ask them, like, hey, what's the deal with these shoes or what's inside? Plus, it's not like when you buy a pair of shoes, it's not like you can't just go online and see the details and everything about them. So that's even another reason why I don't get it. Like, they explain it to you on the website. They let you know, like, okay, the Nike Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next has an Air Zoom material. What is Air Zoom material? It's just another way of them saying it's a different type of cushioning for your feet. But I'll never forget one of the first times I seen a video like that where there's these other Nike shoes called Vapor Max, and Vapor Max are pretty nice shoes. But I never thought to myself, let me cut these shoes up to see what's inside. Like, why? Well, why would I spend? Because Vapor Max are another expensive Nike shoes. But why would I cut those shoes up? Like, what would be the reason? You know, like, I can very well find out all these things I want to know before cutting the shoes up. So why would I do that? What would be the logical reason or whatever you would want to call it? Like, why? Because I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm telling you, like, that's just one thing that I see a lot. Like, with content creating is just, you'll see so many different types of videos where they don't make sense. And cutting up shoes is one of them. Like, I know the value. Like, if this would have probably been like back when I was in high school or something, I might have said some similar stuff, but I probably wouldn't have cared as much. But now being a sneakerhead, now knowing how valuable shoes are, like, and it was crazy because I know when the first time I seen it, the Vapor Max, the guy said that Nike had sent them out them shoes for free. And I'm like, bro, you're getting free shoes from Nike and you're destroying them. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Like, if I was getting free shoes from Nike, I think Nike would be like, oh yeah, we know he's going to use them shoes up until there's just nothing left, until them shoes have literally disintegrated underneath his foot. But we know this guy. We know TMossBoss. We know he ain't gonna be. The only way I'll destroy a pair of shoes if I take them outside and use them. Meaning run in them, walk in them, go through mud, go through dirt, sand. Like, I remember I took the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 5s, Air Jordan 5s out to the beach. Sand got all in them, and I was like, I remember I ended up wearing them shoes sometime after that, and there was still sand built up in those shoes. What are some other shoes that I have that I'm like, oh, there was that. What are some other shoes? I've worn them self-lacing shoes outside. I've worn, bro, I'm telling you, like, I'm careless, but to a certain extent with my shoes. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll use my shoes like the average person, but to go and be like, oh, let me set up this camera stuff, let me go and cut up my shoes up. Like, no. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that whatsoever. So that's why I'm like, it's something that I will never understand. They might have their reasons for it, but I'm like, that's just another form of content I just don't understand. Do I hate that content? I wouldn't necessarily say that I hate it. It's just something that I don't see myself, overall doing. And I also don't support it either because I'm like, bruh, you're wasting money. Like, my thing is this: if you're buying the shoes, you're literally spending either over $100 or $200. Like, it would make sense, like, if it's somebody like, you're making bank with with how, like, with what you're doing and stuff. Like, you got you a good paying job, so I guess I can understand, maybe, money ain't an issue to you. You don't care about that stuff. You see it as that, look, I bought the shoes, they're in my possession, I can do whatever I want with them, but then you end up destroying them. And I'm like, it couldn't be me. I'm sorry, but I'm like, I know the value of shoes, and I'm like, I couldn't do that. Like, there's not one person in this world that can convince me. Like, my all-time favorite pair of shoes I've ever bought are my Air Jordan 11s, bread. I don't care what a person says to me. I don't care, like let's say if it was somebody that was just like, oh, let me challenge him to a video game and be like, if he loses, he has to destroy his bread 11s. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all. I'm all like, you're going to have to force me to do it, because I'm like, I'm not just going to do it free willingly. I'm not going to destroy my all-time favorite pair of shoes. Literally, those shoes where I woke up early in the morning, okay? I woke up early in the morning to try to go get those shoes. Stood out in the cold, okay? But that was more self-inflicted. I didn't bring a jacket. I thought this thermal hoodie would help, but it didn't. So, but anyways, stood outside in the cold. Literally got turned away because I wasn't this Nike Plus reserved member or whatever it was. Okay, then to wait a year later, get the shoes, they're not my size, or no, eventually, yeah, end up getting the shoes, spent the arm and a leg for it, they wasn't the proper size, made my feet uncomfortable, then eventually was able to get me a 10.5, I didn't think I was able to fit a 10.5, but I did, I was going to make it work, got the 10.5, and I got these shoes, and you want me to destroy them. Even the shoes I got today, they're these running shoes that was banned in the Olympics. And I'm like, there's those shoes. There's the shoes, the blazers that I had customized where it got my name on it. What other shoes do I have? I'm like, bruh, I got so many different pairs of shoes where I'm like, even like my least favorite pair of shoes, if anything, I will give them away. Or I would sell them to this reselling store that I go to. But I would never, okay, under any circumstances, destroy a pair of shoes that I didn't work hard to get. Maybe these guys didn't work hard to get these shoes. But I'm like, me personally, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I just know the value of shoes. And so I'm like, I don't see myself doing those stuff like that. I'm like, I care too much about shoes. And I know people are probably going to like try to reach out to me talking about shoes aren't that important. I don't know why you... Okay, well, you find something important in your life. Let's say if you're into gaming, right? And you have like this dope, amazing gaming PC. You done spent all this money, but then you got people that's on YouTube talking about, oh, let me cut this gaming PC in half to see what's inside. Like, you can't just go and look that stuff up and see what's inside, or get the type of computer that I got where it got like this glass casing and you can just look inside and see what's inside of it. But no, they're doing that. Or let's say if it's a puppy. Let's say if somebody's like, oh, let me cut this puppy in half to see what's in. That's too dark. Okay, maybe I won't, because I forgot, like, kids be listening to my... So no puppies, okay? No puppies. No, just, I take back what I said. But I'm just saying, though, like, why cut it in half when it's like you very well can give this to somebody? Like, if that guy would have reached out to me and said, hey, do you want a pair of Vapor Maxes? I'm not like, hey, look, it ain't even my color, but I still will wear them. I still would use them. I would wear them shoes down to the freaking last bit of Nike Air that's running through the shoes. But I would never ever under any circumstances destroy the shoes. I don't care what's like. If Nike was all like, hey, if you destroy those shoes, you can get any pair of our shoes for free, then that would probably be the only reason why I would destroy a pair of shoes. Because I'm like, oh, you mean any shoes? Like, it is Air Jordan shoes included. Like, if they was like, I gotta destroy my Bred 11s, but I can very well go back out and get me another pair of Bred 11s, I probably would be a little bit hesitant because I'm like, these are like, well, I mean, they were my second pair of Bred 11s, but still, these were like the ones, these are mine. Like, this was what I wanted, but I probably would. I'm like, you know what? Nah, because that I'm like, is this for the rest of my life? They've been like, rest of your life, you get any pair of Nike shoes for free. I probably would have dunked. Once I like fully started thinking about it, I would have slam dunked those shoes, okay, into that like pits of fire or just cut them up, whatever, okay? I would have beaten them shoes to death. I'm just saying, like, I would have legit, like, got assault rifle, shot the shoes, chopped the shoes up. I would have made sure that them shoes was dust. I have spent the whole day destroying them shoes. Probably would have taken the last few pictures. I don't know. Then there probably gets, I mean... Dang, I just feel like, I'll probably make it, like, quick and stuff, like, say my final goodbyes to the shoes, and then just, I don't know, blow them up out in the desert somewhere, I'm like, or, I don't know, maybe get their ashes and the ashes of the shoes and, like, scatter them, like, in, like, the Grand Canyon or something, I don't know, but overall, like, I'm like, that would be the only way. That would be the only way I would destroy a pair of shoes if Nike was all like, oh, you could get any pair of our shoes for free. Because I'm like, Nike they got some shoes out there that I would like. And yeah, I'm like, and I'm not trying to spend like, arm and a leg for them. But I definitely would, consider that option and stuff. But that's only if I'm like getting something in return. I'm like, if it's for views, I'm like, bro, that's the thing where I just wanted to talk on real quick. Like, because it's another thing that I want to talk on that's off topic on what I was originally talking on about, like, destroying shoes and stuff. But you don't have to do everything, for content. Like, everything isn't, people aren't looking for that form of content. Like, the only reason why I had to say people watch that content is because they're seeing it and they're clicking on it and they're like, wow, that's crazy. But nobody in their right, because that's how I came across the one video where the guy cut up his Vapor Max shoes. I just seen it, like, I think I was looking up the shoes because this is around the time when I was getting into them, and Vapor Maxes was, like, at the time, like, the most expensive shoes I've ever seen on shelves. So I was like, oh, let me go and see what these shoes are all about. And then I remember I went home. I think I watched some videos on it, and the guy was like cutting the shoes up, and I'm like, why? Like, what was the reason? Why would you do that? Like, it's just, I remember I watched that video for a little bit, then eventually I ended up just turning the video off because I was like, stupid. But there was that, and then there was this video that I had just recently seen, and it just really puts like a bad like rap on like content creators because when I look at that, I feel like that like type of stuff reflects on who I am or what my job is. My job is to entertain people, but then when I see just some old dumb content gets uploaded onto like YouTube or whatever, I'm like, fam, why can't you guys be better? But anyways, so this guy goes up to some Hispanic people, and then he's like, I think he was like offering them some stuff, or he was just starting a conversation. But anyways, then he starts pointing at this truck, and this truck says ICE on it. And so, of course, like, because I mean, I think that, Hispanic people, they have like their, paperwork to overall like stay here in in like, the US and stuff. So of course, any situation like that, you're gonna get scared. And so that's what they did, and they took off running, of course. And then they're like, oh, it was just a prank, like, no, we're just giving out cold beers and stuff. And I'm like, bruh, that's not content, that's not funny. Like, there's people that actually, like, they're running away and fight, because then you putting that impression in their head, like, oh, no, these are the YouTube guys, this is funny, this is, and it's like, bruh, they're trying to make a living, they're just trying to live. And you out here doing stuff for content reasons, I'm like, it's it's stuff like that where I'm like, bro, and then, like, with cutting up shoes, or any other, like, dumb content that I've talked on, but I'm like, it's just, to me, I'm like, there's certain content where it's like, it makes sense, and then there's certain content that just doesn't, make sense to me. And I know people will probably try to, like, throw that in play where it's like, oh, well, what about reaction videos? Because I know people still got their hatred towards reaction videos. And I'm like, with me, I'm like, look, you see more people watching and looking for reaction videos than you see people looking and cutting up shoes and stuff. Yeah, maybe some people do find that type of content interesting, and maybe the one where you're pranking Hispanic people and stuff. But with me, I'm like, I just don't get it. You know, it's content where I'm like, I can't necessarily say. Now, this one with the Hispanic people, I was like, I did think that was pretty dumb, and I was just like, you know, those guys ain't did nothing to you and stuff. And I'm like, look, if you trying to tell us something, then go ahead and say it. Like, you know, if you racist or whatever you got going on in you, then say that. But if not, then it's like, hey, yo, leave them Hispanic people alone, because they ain't did nothing to you. So, but anyways, but yeah, I just overall think like cutting up shoes, it ain't no reason for it. So, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 36 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. Make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your next purchase. And also make sure you use my supported creator code for Epic Games, TMossBoss. And that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.